exam, right? For you, it can be only this year, it could be for the next 2 years. But for your teachers, your batch is important, the next batch is important, the previous batch is important. Every single batch, they have to put the same amount of work with the same seriousness. Yes? Why do they have to do it? Again, the same thing. What if my child is in 10th class? If I made him miss 1 mark, if I made him miss that one question, I'll feel very bad, right? So every single batch they put in the same amount of work for the same reason. Yes? Similarly, your vice principal or your principal, 60-70% of their time they spend with you. Coordinators, they have to prepare the exam papers for the entire school, prepare all the teachers, visit many branches, even in their hectic schedules, they come and see that if you have any doubts, they would want to rectify. All these people would want to ensure that whatever your potential is, you should not get even 1 mark less than that. It's okay if we get more, right? So this is all the external people, all the resources that we have. But the more important thing is, what do we feel about our result, about our exam, right? Remaining all will fall in place when we are in the correct orientation. Yes? So, yes, few of you might be feeling the exam is in February, why do we have to worry now? And many of you might be feeling, what work I am doing now, if I had worked from the month of March itself, from the month of January itself, the results would have been different. ఈ రోజు చేసిన వర్క్, ఈ రోజు చేసిన సీరియస్నెస్తో నేను మార్చ్లో చేస్తుంటేనో ఫిబ్రవరిలోనో చేస్తుంటేనో ఇంకా బాగుండేది, రైట్? So many of you might be feeling that way, and that is how most should feel too. Always we feel that the time is never enough. ఎప్పుడు అదే అనిపిస్తుంది. Whatever be this board exam, be any important occasion, we always feel that the time is never enough. ఇంకా ఉంటే బాగుండని అనిపిస్తుంది. సేమ్ థింగ్ ఫర్ అస్ టు. ఈ రోజు చేసే వర్క్ ఏదో 1 week ముందే చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా, ఈ రోజు ఎందుకు టెన్షన్ పడుతున్నాం? So a 40-year-old person feeling that way, I can understand, totally relate to a 14-year-old feeling that way. We always feel the time is never enough, right? So, and it's a good thing to feel also. So, again, a good thing to feel, and again we are in the same loop. మళ్ళీ ఒక 2 monthsకి షెడ్యూల్స్ వేసుకొని, ప్లానింగ్ చేసుకొని, ఎవ్రీడే ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ చదవాలి, ఈ చాప్టర్ చదువుకోవాలని అగ్రెసివ్ ప్లానింగ్ మీద స్పెండ్ చేసి, మళ్ళీ అది అచీవ్ అవ్వట్లేదని ఇంకా టెన్షన్ పడి, సో that should not, that trap we should not fall in. So what should we do? We should take each day at a time. What we have to achieve today, that only we should keep in mind. Rest all we should be able to forget. When are we having the exams? If we have the sufficient time, what if I miss the chapter? What if I don't remaining all we keep aside and only focus on today. If I am doing right today, if I am achieving what I have to do today or not, that's more important. Okay? Clear? Yes? All of you? Yes. So for that morning, early in the morning, you write down what schedules you have. 2 schedules probably you have. So what do I have to finish today? I have to finish this chapter and I have to finish this question and answers. Same thing with the second schedule also. Right? Only that day you keep in mind. And yes, to avoid some anxiety, to avoid some stress, we just recap what we already know. I don't see any gap between exams. That's what you also see. So what does it mean? Whatever preparation we have to do before February 10th itself. Yes? After that, we don't have any much of a time except probably for artificial intelligence. So this is something I guess most of you already know. And the next thing is, which we don't have for the last year batch, which we have only for this year, is improvement exam in the month of May, right? Which we didn't have the last year. So many of you also have questions. What is this exam? When should we apply? Who are applicable for this exam? Anybody who has written February exam is applicable to write, is eligible to write May exam, and only in those subjects which you have appeared in the, which you have taken in the February. Is it a compulsory exam? No, it is an optional exam. When should we apply for this exam? From what I've understood, by the end of April, you will get the result. But you will not have time then to apply for the exam. April tarvata meeku time unde avakasam ledu. So what they are assuming is March 18th, once your exams are done, you will be able to analyze which subjects you have to improve and immediately apply. Right? After April, once you get the result, you can withdraw or go ahead with your application. Okay? So that's what I've understood. But there is more clarity that has to be, that we have to get. And what if any of you, it should not happen, but any of you failed in one of the subjects? They will also not have any supplementary exam, but will sit in the same exam as this. If the children have failed in two subjects only, if they have failed in more than 3 subjects, they have to sit for the next year. They cannot sit in this exam. So, yes, once your exams are done, March 18th, definitely we wouldn't leave you in lurch. As and when we get the more information, we will get you the notifications. The next thing which I have seen in the news recently is, there is a slight change from last year to this year. Is science is divided into the 4 parts, very distinct parts, right? So 25 marks each for physics, chemistry and biology, and 5 marks for environmental science, if I am not wrong. And similarly for the social also, clear distinct sections for 20 marks each of history, geography, political sciences and economics. This has nothing to do with you. Your preparation remains the same. This is only to ease the corrections. So more important thing that we have to understand from the recent news is more competency based, more concept oriented compared to rote memorization. So they want to test you more on concept understanding than rote memorization. So first one, what did we do? From the month of January 2025 itself, we started far ahead compared to the other schools for 10th. And in this also, all the senior faculty along with the coordinators have worked to see that certain number of days are given for each chapter based on the weightage in the final exam and also based on the difficulty and its connection to the next classes. Because they have sent so many batches from the last 15 years, with all that clarity, they have given certain number of days, stipulated number of days for each chapter in the entire syllabus, right? Accordingly, they have very clearly covered the syllabus, and after each chapter, right, this is what you have already done. After each chapter, there is a chapter test conducted. And based on this chapter test, after this chapter test is conducted, where did you lose the marks? What are your weak areas? Few children have analyzed it themselves, and for others, teachers have understood and analyzed. After that analysis, right, in the first revision, in the first schedule, they have revised these topics again and again. What are missed based on your half yearly marks, based on your feedback, again from November 1st to 7th, they have conducted for the first section. Again, one more round of revision, concept clarity they have given. All of you, were there, right? First section. So for the other sections, as a part of second schedule, they will again do the concepts that you weren't thorough in the first schedule. This is something we have done very in a very scientific and in a very systematic manner, where you don't lose a day, where you don't have to worry majorly, considering everything we have done until this point, right? So the big question now is, what do we have to do from now on to ace well in the exam? So yes, considerable amount of work is done even now, because this is your last time you are doing your entire portion. This is the one last time. The previous slide says the same. Your pre-final 1 is on December 27th on the whole portion, and again your pre-final 2 on January 27th, and your board on February 15th. So December 27th, we have close to 35 working days, and for each subject we will have close to 7 working days, which means that close to each subject has 14 chapters. For each chapter we will have half a day, right? 35 by, right? 35 by 6 subjects, that is 7 days per subject, and 7 days means each chapter will have half a day. So in this half a day, right, we have to cover entire portion from what we've read in January, what we have read in August, September, what we missed, we have to redo the entire topic again, and this is one last time you can do it. Never after December 27th we are getting this opportunity again, because from December 27th to January 27th, any section will be doing only the sample papers and will be more working on time management. How to finish the paper on time, how to do the corrections, and only that part will be done from December 27th to January 27th, and January 27th to February 15th also, February 12th, because 3 days we will prepare for the exam. In the last 10-15 days also, we will be more working on the presentation. So rest aside, we will only have this much of a time to do the revision. So is this time enough? Yes, we will have sufficient time to do the chapters again. So only and only if we understand the schedules well and prepare well. So how to do the schedules? We have two schedules each day, say Telugu and Mathematics on November 14th, morning half Telugu, evening half Mathematics. And in each schedule, the first half an hour, every teacher will explain the entire gist of the chapter, which will make you recap what you missed in the first schedule. So once the recap is over, then you have close to 2.5 hours time to read through each and every line of the textbook first. As I mentioned previously, what is the CBSE question paper testing this time? Concept based question. They are not testing your rod memorization. What does it mean? How many number of question and answers you prepare? It doesn't matter. What it matters is how well you have understood the concept. Which concept they mean? Do they ask any other concept than the textbook, like IIT or JEE? No. They will not go beyond your textbook. Whatever is there in the textbook, you have to be thorough. Whatever is there in the textbook, we have to read each and every line. First time you would not understand. Second time you would know the flow of concept. And the third time you will know what in between the lines they have said. 3 reads at least you have to do the entire textbook. You have to understand the concept thoroughly. Yes. Then once your textbook reading of NCERT, this is not for the first sections, even for the last sections also, మీకు అర్థమైంది కాన్సెప్ట్ మేడం జస్ట్ చెప్తున్నప్పుడు మీకు అర్థమైన లాంగ్వేజ్లో రాసుకోండి. Do not directly go to the question and answers and by heart the question and answers, which will not help you in any which way. Any which way you understand concept flow, మీకు ఎలా అర్థమైనా ఏదైనా మీరు మీ ఓన్ వర్డ్స్లో మేక్ ఏ నోట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్, once you understood the concept, once you are thorough in the textbook, then only we should go to the question and answers that are there first at the back of the textbook. Once we are thorough, we are confident of the questions at the back of the textbook, then we will go to the exemplar NCERT exemplar problems. Once we are thorough in that, then we will go to the question bank and other publications. మీకు ఇది రాకుండా మీరు క్వశ్చన్ బ్యాంక్ వెళ్ళొద్దు, దెర్ ఇస్ నో యూస్. ఇది రాకుండా శాంపుల్ పేపర్స్ చేయొద్దు, నో యూస్. ఇది రాకుండా ఎంసీక్యూస్, కేస్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ చేయకండి, నో యూస్. Once you are thorough in the NCERT textbook content only, question answers at the back of the textbook only, you should go to the remaining all other resources. So that is how your teachers must be already doing, but to avoid confusion, I am reiterating again. So then the important thing here in the schedule is, yes, we will read the entire textbook, we will do the questions, and in the last half an hour we'll take the schedule test, and we have to take the schedule test as if we are taking the board exam. అంత టైం మేనేజ్మెంట్, అంత నీట్గా, అంత లాజికల్గా క్వశ్చన్ చదివి ఆన్సర్ చేయడం వస్తేనే నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నాను మీకు, ఇదే లాస్ట్ టైం మీరు ఆ చాప్టర్ చదువుతుంది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఈజ్ యాజ్ గుడ్ యాజ్ యూఆర్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ ఫర్ ద బోర్డ్ ఎగ్జామ్, రైట్? సో మీరు బోర్డ్ ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తున్నట్లే రాయాలి కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్ యూ అగైన్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ యూ విల్ డూ బోత్ ద షెడ్యూల్స్ ఆఫ్ ద డే. One important thing I have to tell you here is how to make the notes. నోట్స్ అంటే మీరు రెడ్ పెన్తో ఒకసారి, గ్రీన్ పెన్తో ఒకసారి, బ్లూ పెన్తో ఒకసారి నీట్గా అదినట్టు రాస్తూ ఉంటారు. దట్స్ నాట్ కాల్డ్ నోట్స్, దట్స్ కాల్డ్ కాపీరైట్, విచ్ వీ డోంట్ నీడ్ ఎట్ దిస్ ఆర్. Notes, what I mean is, point by point, you just write the flow of the concept. While reading the textbook, obviously, our attention will waver. ఎవరు వెళ్తున్నారు, ఎవరు చూస్తున్నారు, టీచర్ ఉన్నారా లేరా, పక్కన వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, this attention will deviate. To not have that attention deviation, always we should write while reading. Write ante you write in your own notes will help you revise before the exam. Writing also means just the important points, not the entire line. Did you all see the notes there? Only which date, what happened, which date, what happened, just the flow of the entire. Yes, clear? So even if it is important, you write. When you think it is important formula, important definitions, you underline. Make sure they are at the front of the textbook, front of the notebook, because every time you open the running notes to write something, you will go through this. So my important formula chapter lo trigonometry lo em unnai, arithmetic progression lo em unnai, నాకు తెలుసు 2-3 కంటే లేవు. సో అవన్నీ మీరు ఫ్రంట్ లో రాస్తే whenever you opening the notebook, you will be able to revise them. మళ్ళీ క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్స్ అని చెప్పి డాట్లు పెట్టి రెడ్ ఇంక్, బ్లూ ఇంక్ ఇట్లా రాయకండి, విచ్ ఇస్ అ వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ టైం. యూ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద ఫ్లో అండ్ క్లియర్లీ రైట్ ఇన్ ఏ ఫ్లో. మీకు ఆ తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఇంకోసారి చదివినప్పుడు మీకు ఇంకో ఐడియా వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, పక్కనే రాసేసుకోవచ్చు, దాని మీద ఓవర్ రైట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. దట్స్ ఆర్ రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్, ఆర్ విష్. ఓకే, అండ్ yes, this is the important part of your schedule. The more important part is, again you will not be able to finish the entire portion here. అందుకే మీకు తెలుగుతో పాటు మ్యాథ్ వేస్తున్నారు. తెలుగులో మీకు పోర్షన్ అయిపోతే మ్యాథ్లో అవ్వలేదంటే యూ షుడ్ గో బ్యాక్ హోమ్. వాట్ ఎవర్ పోర్షన్స్ యూ కుడ్ ఫినిష్, వాట్ ఎవర్ పోర్షన్ యూ ఆర్ నాట్ వెరీ క్లియర్ విత్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు ప్రాక్టీస్ దట్ అగైన్ ఇన్ ద home. Because as I said again, this is the last time you are doing this trigonometry. If you miss this today, we will miss this for board exam. So this is what we have to do the schedules, and this is how we have to do the notes and also the concept flow, important formulas, diagrams. Social sciences also, I've shown you social only, one-liner notes, how to do it, and important math work also. Last time I remember most of you have missed the map only, which you thought is not important. So whatever, even a single word that is given in the NCERT is very important. Even the small diagram, even the small map that is given is important. I hope you make a note of all of it. And last but not the least, everything has to go as planned. Everything has to go in this way. Yes, first and foremost, it's important that we as much as possible we try to discuss. It's good నాకు వచ్చినప్పుడు నేను వేరే వాళ్ళకి చెప్పాను అనుకోండి, my concept is also reinforced. It's a good thing to do, but because we have very less time now, I wouldn't ask you to do it. మీరు గ్రూప్ డిస్కషన్ చేసే కొద్ది ఇంకో నలుగురు వచ్చి ఇంకో డౌట్ అడుగుతారు, ఇంకో మీకు అవసరం లేని డౌట్ ఇంకోటి అడుగుతారు, అది ఇంకా ఇట్ విల్ గో ఇంటూ నెవర్ ఎండింగ్ డిస్కషన్ విచ్ వీ డోంట్ వాంట్, రైట్? సో దట్స్ వై ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ, ప్లీజ్ నాట్ do group discussions as much as possible. Even if you want to explain, maybe during the break time or sometime you explain to your friend, but not during the schedule. And avoid screen time. It is very easy for me to say. Is it easy for you to do? No. It's not so easy when we have a long-term habit. First thing is, definitely everyone can do is come to the school regularly, where we don't have an option of watching screen, till the very last exam of March 18th. If you come to the school, there will be a set pattern, right? We need not watch, we cannot watch the screen here. And after going home, yes, we can't read all the time, right? We need some kind of buffer between. So go for a walk, play some game, play physical game, and go out and engage in something that is more physical rather than, playing online. Because all of you know, all these online games are designed in such a way that you come back to it. You do not leave it. They give those what do you say, incentives or all this to make sure that you are on the game all the time. Or whenever you need a gap, go out, take a walk, play something with your friends. You can do all this. Try it. I know it's not easy, but as much as possible, because we have only this time, avoid the screens. Nenu inte time choostanu anukunna, it's not easy to cut it at a certain time. As I've told you, they always would want to incentivize to watch for long hours, which is not easy to avoid. Okay, so మీకు ఇంకా చూడాలనిపిస్తే you can always watch news, you can always watch something that is more meaningful, which is not again, which will make you put in the loop. So everybody say, every teacher, most teachers say, right, so this child is a topper, this child is a slow learner, this child cannot do well in the exams. Ask them to play the Roblox, right? None of them can pass. Ask them to play cricket, none of them can play. What does it mean? Not that we are not having different IQs, but that just that we don't have the same interest in the subject. A topper would not leave the topic until he finished the topic, right? A topic ayyedaka, ardhamayyedaka, full marks vachedaka, they wouldn't leave it. But others would want to leave it and deviate to other more interesting, fascinating aspects of life. That's the only difference. I do not believe that there is some low IQ, there is very high IQ children, there is nothing like that. And yes, again, if it all has to happen in a schedule, whatever we plan in the morning, evening, after coming back home, working, everything has to happen in a certain way, then before day we have to sleep on time. ఇందాక చెప్పాను, ఫినిష్ చేయాలి పోర్షన్స్, ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రీ చేయాలి కాబట్టి నేను 12 దాకా మేల్కున్నాను, 1 దాకా మేల్కున్నాను. వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపన్? ఎంటైర్ నెక్స్ట్ డే ఐల్ బి స్లీపీ, ఐల్ బి ఎనీవేస్ మిస్సింగ్ ద నెక్స్ట్ షెడ్యూల్, విచ్ వీ డోంట్ వాంట్, రైట్? సో హ్యావింగ్ సెట్ డైలీ రొటీన్, ఎవ్రీ డే యూ స్లీప్ ఎట్ ఎ సర్టెన్ టైమ్, విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్, which we take for granted. If we have to sleep every day, have habit of sleeping every day by 9 o'clock, no matter what you sleep by 9 o'clock, everything will be set for the next day. Whether there is a function, whether there is any kind of revision, anything maybe it is, you sleep by 9. Everything will fall in place. But if there is a disturbance, as I said before, the entire day, the next day will get disturbed, which we do not want. And again, have proper nutritious food. Again, you don't want to miss a day, as I already told you at length how important each day is. So it's important that all of you are healthy to come to the school regularly. So for that, eat good food, nutritious food, and sleep 7-8 hours every day, which will relax, right, and help you be ready for the next day. So this, I hope, is not very difficult drill to do. This is a very small habits that will have a long time yield. It's not just beneficial for your 10th board, but for your upcoming exams and all also. If you have the practice of doing the study schedule in a certain way, practicing in a certain way, which will also help you in the upcoming days, upcoming exams, right?